One thing I've noticed when I was reading the Archie, Archie comic book of Sonic the Hedgehog, basically doing the Archie run, one thing I always seem to notice is how much more screen time, I guess you could say, they gave Bunnie Rabbot. Not saying that Bunnie didn't get any screen time in Season 1 and Season 2 of Sonic SatAM. Oh, she got screen time, believe me. She got plenty. But it seems that in the comics, they took her character and they upped it to the next level. They upped it to the 110th level, in my opinion. And the reason I say that is because outside of Sally, it seemed like they wanted to treat Bunnie as if she was an actual game character. I mean, we all know that her and Sally and Rotor and, along with Tails were in the bonus level of Sonic Spinball. That's not the issue. The issue is a lot of people always argued about the fact that, Sonic shouldn't be associated with Sally or Bunnie or any of them because they're not official game characters. Even though they're based on some of the animals he rescued, people would say, oh, they're not official game characters, so they shouldn't, Sonic shouldn't be around them. He shouldn't be dating, Sally. He should be with Amy and stuff like that. But when you really get down to it, the way the characters were portrayed at times, whether it was under the writing of Ken Penders, whether it was under the writing of, I think, Matt Gallagher, of, Carl Bowlers, or even Ian Flynn, or even Van Stanley, you have to admit that sometimes the way they were treated, it's almost as though they were being treated as if they were actual game characters. Sally had her moments, no doubt. Antoine had his moments, no doubt. Rotor the same way. As well as other characters like, the Freedom Fighters of Down Under, the Arctic Freedom Fighters, Fiona when she was on the side of good, even as a bad girl or anti-hero, whatever you want to call her. Julie Sue. All of them had the moments that made it feel like, hey, these are characters from the games, but they're not. And when it comes to Bunnie, this is a character that, like I said, she got plenty of screen time. In both seasons of the animated series. There's no debating that. But when you look at the comic and the fact that, in my opinion, they basically upped that to the 110th level, that's saying something, because when you get into the later portions of the comic, when you're getting into more of the, I guess you could say, end game portion of it, and not just end game, but you were also getting into other stories as well, like the version of Sin City, if you will. There's a story featuring her and Sonic that's very Sin City-like, or something like that. But then you get into the other aspects of her character, and it's like you ask yourself, where was this Bunnie, or where has this Bunnie been? It's like we got a sample, ladies and gentlemen. We got a sample of what she was capable of doing in the animated series, but now we were seeing it full throttle. And there's a lot of us fans that were wondering, where was this Bunnie when the comic began? And why didn't we see a lot more of this Bunnie in the animated series? I mean, you have to wonder, would we have seen this Bunnie in the third season had, ABC not pulled the plug, if you will? Honestly, I think we would have. I really do. I think along with Tails getting a lot more screen time, I think Bunnie was also going to get a lot more screen time as well. And I think, by that association, she would have also shown more of what she was capable of. But again, when you look at her counterpart in the comics, or the way she's portrayed in the comics, it's almost like they're giving you an idea of what she potentially could have done in the animated series. Because there's moments in here that really just blow my mind. I mean, there is a moment, and I don't know if I'll put it up here, but there is a moment, you know, in the final parts of that, what is that, triple threat story, or triple trouble story that they did after Sonic came back from space. Well, basically, she blows up an entire freaking ship. Yeah, she blows up an entire freaking battleship by just diving down and going all over it and just blowing it up. Like she's a freaking nuclear bomb. That was, when I read and saw that initially, I was like, holy crap. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Now again, like I said, I don't know if I'll be able to show that, you know, screenshot here or not. If not, you know, seeing Bunnie as a character, or at least a collage, if you will, if I can find one, I think is good enough. But like I said, when she had that moment, it blew my mind. When she would team up with Sonic, and here's another thing too that was interesting. They had her pre and post marriage team up with Sonic a lot. And it was almost like they were trying to give off the vibes of what if these two could have been an item. And they teased it after that whole, or doing that whole, you know, evil Antron disguised as real Antron kind of deal. You know, they teased it. But there were moments pre and post marriage where she teamed up with Sonic and it felt natural. It felt like this was the right team up to do. You know, no doubt about it. The right team up to do. I mean, the fact that you have a character that's a close friend of Sonic's that can match him not just for power, but match him for speed in a sense, is saying something. It really is. You know, it really is. I mean, the thing is, like I said, she has her moments there, and that's what, issue 217 and 218, I think. You know, she has her moments there. And then what about, even way before that, about in the 175 three-parter, from 175 to 177, 177, she freaking transforms her robotic arm into a, what is it, like a cannon, like a flame, like a nuke cannon, if you will, and basically blows most of Eggman's, you know, impenetrable Eggbot shell right off. She just blows it up. She just transforms her hand, says, you know, I've been saving this for a special occasion. Boom! Just blows the heck out of it. And it's like, holy mackerel. It's like, where has this Bunnie been? And if that's not enough, if you will, if that's not enough, how about even in the post-soft retcon reboot? She has a confrontation with Clove's sister when her sister says something about, oh, being robotic's not so bad or something. She goes off. It's like, shit. It's like, shit, boy. Or shit, girl. You just pressed the wrong button. You know, you just pressed the wrong button. She just went off. And then even in the climax, in the climactic battle at the end of the Panic in the Sky, you know, the Panic in the Sky Sonic Unleashed story arc, you know, in that final climactic battle, there's a scene where they're confronted by some of these E1 robots or whatever, you know, and Bunnie basically takes one of them out, like, you know, Sally points up to it and says, Bunnie? And Bunnie's like, oh, I got this, leans her robotic arm back, and boom! Right through that E-robot, whatever it was, like it was nothing. The same kind of E-robot that took them down in a sneak attack, she just went BAM! Again, it's like, where was this Bunnie at the entire time? It just blew my mind. And how much she was taken to that 110th level, if you will, in the comics. It was crazy. I mean, heck, when they debuted Rouge officially in the books, who did they pair her up against, for her first fight? Bunnie. They paired her up with Bunnie. And Bunnie and her were even Steven, fist for fist, kick for kick, and it's like, holy crap. It's like, holy crap. I mean, here's the thing too. Out of all the characters they kind of gave an outfit design to temporarily, she got not one, but two outfit designs. Not one, but two. She got a Daisy Duke-like inspired one when they did those high school issues, had the characters back at high school. And she teamed up with Sonic there to fly him into Robotropolis to see what was going on. And everything, with the Overlanders being befriended by Eggman, knowing that something was up. And then later on, she adapts the cowgirl outfit, which became, a lot of people would assume, her second iconic look outside of her default look. And it's like, for some odd reason, both of them worked. Both of them actually worked. And then you look, like I said, you go to the post soft retcon, soft reboot, and you look at her relationships, right? Her friendships, relationships. They actually, and this was never actually touched upon in the pre-soft retcon reboot era of the Archie Sonic book, but in the post one it was. Tails actually looks at her not as an aunt. No. Because, they did a side story where they teamed up looking for one of the Gaia keys, right? Tails basically, acknowledges the fact that when they first met, it was him and Muskie that kind of helped cheer her up a little bit after her whole, getting cybernetics, and everything. They cheered her up. And Tails tells her, that he's glad she came around and stayed around because it's like getting a big sister. It's not, there was no acknowledgement of it's like getting a secondary aunt or a second aunt and all that. No, it's like getting a big sister. Which again was never addressed in the pre-soft retcon, soft reboot era of the book before the post version. Never once. Because Tails would always refer to Sally and Bunnie almost naturally as aunts. Because they were caretakers of his, motherly figures, but he would still call them aunts. But here, her relationship with Tails becomes more of along the lines, according to Tails' own admittance, as a sibling relationship. Which would mean he also looked at Sally as a big sister. Go figure. But again, even with that, with that acceptance of her acknowledging that, again, it makes you wonder, where has this Bunnie been? I'm not saying that if they would have done that in the animated series, have Tails say, well, I don't look at you as an Aunt Bunnie, I look at you as a sister, as a big sister. There's no doubt she would have accepted it there. I'm not denying that. But still, it's like, for her to come out and admit that in an official book, basically debunk the aunt, or the aunt, namesake, to be more of a sister, is pretty cool. It's really pretty cool. And also the fact that even in the pre-reboot, she's happy, she's hugging Tails and everything and thanking him for protecting Antoine and then giving him something that she downloaded on her cybernetic arm. And it's like, excuse me, okay, that's great. You're all happy with him and hugging him and squeezing him. And it's like, girl, if you want to have private time with Tails, yeah. I'm sure Antoine won't mind, rewarding him in a certain way, but wait until later, right? But anyway, she gives him something that she downloaded, the schematics of the Cuckoo Birds systems. And it's like, wait a minute, where has this been? And then she reapplies, and then that's kept basically into the post-Soft Retcon reboot. And then speaking of that, when Sonic and Bunny meet up with her, when it's revealed that she'd been undercover as a Dark Legionnaire, or Dark Egg Legionnaire, what does she do? Not only is Tails goes right up to her and hugs her, so glad to see her and everything. And that pretty much should have been the clue of, well, there's got to be something going on between these two that's a little bit more, a little bit more closer than an aunt situation, if you will. It made you wonder what was going on there. Like, why was he so happy to see her more than anything so far? And then, of course, the story later on gave us that idea. But then when she's helping Sonic and Tails escape from the Death Egg, not the Death Egg, but from the base, what does she do? She uses a freaking hand as a shield. She puts a shield up on her hand. It's like, damn, where has this girl been? Where's this side of Bunny been? It just really, blew my mind. I mean, heck, in what is it, 173 at the end of the main story there? Mammoth Mogul thinks he's gonna get the upper hand on Sonic and the crew, and have Nagas come out of the shadows and try to sneak attack them. What does Sonic do? Sonic says, 10 gold rings, says Nagas he's probably going to pop up from behind us, or pop up from the shadows, from behind us or whatever. And what is Bunny's reaction when Sonic tells her, 10 rings, he pops up from behind us, out of the shadow, pops out of the shadows behind us. What does Bunny do in response? She's like, probably, bam! And as soon as she says that, she's like, probably, bam! Puts her hand up, knocks him out. Or puts her fist up, boom, knocks him out. And if you want another good example of Bunny being, badass, if you will, how about the secondary story they did, where she's answering what she thinks is a distress call, but then finds out it's a false distress call put out by the, Jack Rabbit and his self-centered, no good freedom fighters. They should be anti-freedom fighters anyway. What does she do? Jack Rabbit six, if you will, a bunch of wild Robians on her, because he was saving it for Sonic, so he decided, what the heck, you're good enough, you're just as good. A whole bunch of, wild Robians, which are robotic Mobians, on her, and what do you get? You get panel of her fighting off, and then in the final panel, you see her breaking right through the ground and flying off and allowing the wild Robians to go after Jack Rabbit and his crew. You talk about a badass moment. Again, it's like, where was this side of Bunny been the whole time? And again, it kind of, goes back to what I said. I think, honestly, they were trying to treat Bunny as a character that you could have played in the games, as an actual character. Which is why they put her as an equal to Sonic in power, if not sometimes speed. Now, I know some people might say, well, the only reason they probably did that is they wanted her to make her look like Rogue. They wanted to turn her into the Rogue of the freedom fighters, because we know Rogue from the X-Men was looked at as the powerhouse and everything, right? Well, that's true, and both were Southern characters, Southern-based characters, but she was looked at as the strength of the team, flight, strength, and everything. Bunny the same way. So some could argue that's why they started to put emphasis on Bunny in that manner. And that might be true to an extent, but still, the way Bunny was portrayed here in the comics, it makes you wonder whether or not we would have gotten this in the third season had that officially been done. Had nothing happened. It has to make you wonder if we would have got it then, and if Team Season might implement it in their version of the animation in their animated version of the third season, I should say. Makes you wonder if they'll do it there. But yeah, when you look at the difference between Bunny in Sonic SatAM and her comic book version, it's like, holy guacamole shit. It's no wonder. It's no wonder, when it comes to people doing the another time, another place, or alternate timeline situation, even from a fan's perspective, that they want to pair Bunnie up with Sonic. Like I said, yeah, we got a taste of that during the whole situation where the evil Antoine Patch was impersonating Antoine and making us all think, along with the characters in the story, that him and Bunnie had broken up, but that was not the case. Yeah, we got a taste of that there, and obviously people liked it, due to the point that some even still want to see it happen, or still wanted to see it happen, even by recreating, several scenes with Bunnie in Sally's place or something like that. Still, it's like, still, again, it's just, it's no wonder, like I said, people like, like pairing them off, because when you have Bunnie represented like this, it's like, again, it makes you wonder, wow, where has this side of this character been the whole time? It's like, where has she been? Why is she now acting like this? What's the scoop, if you catch my drift? But, again, when you get down to it, in closing, I don't think I can say any more than what I have. I mean, the fact that we got this side of Bunnie, in the comics, outside of what we got a taste of in the animated series, it just blows my mind. And I know she's not the only character to get a bit of a character lift and a character upgrade, if you will, in the comics from their animated version. I get that. But when you look at Bunnie here, it's almost like they were trying to treat her as a separate, equal character to Sonic, as if she was actually part of the game. And that's saying something. But what are your thoughts, guys? What do you feel about Bunnie's portrayal in the comics? Were you glad that they took her to that upteenth level as a character, if you will? By giving her more moments, badass-wise, legitimate badass-wise, equal to Sonic and stuff like that. How did you feel about it? Do you like it? Or did you like it and everything? Let me know in the comment section below, as well as in the live chat during the premiere, where Super Chats and Super Stickers are indeed open and would be appreciated if you could do it, whatever you can. Also, check me out at BW Rose's Discussions on all your favorite audio podcast platforms, except for Pandora. Also, check out the Teespring store for merchandise you can purchase there. Also, check me out at VENMO, check me out at BW Roses on VENMO. Also, check me out at patreon.com/BW Roses to help support me there. Also, check me out at deviantart.com/BVW1979. Also, check me out at Venmo at Brian-Walmer-2 to help support me there. And at Cash App at BW Roses 98. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Let me know how you feel about, Bunnie's portrayal in the comics and everything. Did you also ask the same question as I did of where was this side of Bunnie been the whole time when we started seeing it? How did you feel about it? Would you have liked to see more? Let me know in the comments, as well as in the live chat during the premiere. And until next time, guys, I am out.